Good morning, dear students, and welcome back for your online classes. Today, we will start the new poem from your book Learn Well 2.4 Lucy Gray. First of all, we'll have an introduction about it. This poem tells the tragic story of a little girl named Lucy. A storm was expected in the night, and her father sent her with a lantern to get her mother home. The storm came before its time, and Lucy lost her way in the snow. She was never found again. The poet says that the little girl's song can still be heard whistling in the wind. Wordsworth. Who is Wordsworth? Wordsworth is the poet of this poem. His full name is Williams Wordsworth. Okay? So Wordsworth wrote a number of Lucy poems which are among the finest in English literature. But nobody knows who this Lucy was. She was probably a creation of the poet's imagination. So this poem, in this the girl's name is Lucy. And this girl, Lucy, is just an imagination of the poet. Okay? So let's start with the poem. Oft I had heard of Lucy Gray, and when I crossed the wild, I chanced to see at break of day the solitary child. This stanza provides the setting and the foreshadowing for the rest of the poem. The reader knows that Lucy Gray has been heard of before and often. Often means in Hindi, aksar, every time. The speaker then claims that he saw the solitary child right at break of day. At this point, the speaker does not reveal why he has heard of Lucy Gray, nor does he reveal why seeing her is worth mentioning. The first stanza simply strikes up curiosity about Lucy and sets her up as an important figure. And as you can see, the meanings: crossed. When I crossed means whenever I went across. Second, the wild. The wild means an uncultivated area of land where few people live. Break of day, dawn, early morning. Solitary, having no companion. Mate or comrade means companion or friend. Dwelt, lived. Moor, hilly land covered with bushes. So these all are the meanings. Again I am repeating the first one, first stanza. Oft I had heard of Lucy Gray, and when I crossed the wild, I chanced to see at break of day the solitary child. I already told you the meaning of crossed, the wild, break of day, and solitary. Okay? And I have explained you this first stanza. Now, second stanza. No mate, no comrade, Lucy knew. She dwelt on a wide moor, the sweetest thing that ever grew, beside a human door. So, in this stanza, it is continuing with the curiosity about Lucy. Before to that, I will tell you the meaning. Mate. Mate means companion. Comrade. Comrade also means companion or friend. Dwelt, lived. Moor, hilly land covered with bushes and little plants. So, what is given in this stanza? This stanza continues to create curiosity about Lucy. The speaker says that she has no mate and no comrade. That means she was having no companion or friend. The corresponds with his description of her in the previous stanza, the first stanza, as a solitary child. Then he says that she dwelt on a wide moor. I already told you the meaning of moor. Moor means hilly land covered with bushes and little plants. So, then he says that she dwelt on a wide moor. It is a strange thing to imagine a child with no friends or family. Like you people, you are also child, you are also children for me. So I cannot imagine a child, I cannot imagine my children without friends, family. Alone and living outside. It's very difficult to think a child with no friends, no family, living alone outside. And one might begin to think that he is describing some kind of feral child. But line 3 of this stanza, which line? The sweetest thing that ever grew beside a human door. So the third line, the sweetest thing that ever grew beside a human door. In this, the speaker says that she is the sweetest thing. Who? Lucy. And now the readers can understand that Lucy is sweet, darling child. And the last line says, which is the last line? Beside a human door. It says that she grew strange, that she did not grow inside that door, since she is a human child. The speaker has already mentioned that she dwelt among the moor. Dwelt among the moor means that, what do you mean by dwelt? I already told you, dwelt means lived and moor means hilly land covered with bushes and little plants. So, the speaker has already mentioned that she dwelt among the moor. These two descriptions cause the readers to wonder about Lucy. These two descriptions, it is causing for you people to wonder about Lucy and her strange identity. Third stanza. I'll read for you and then I'll tell you the meaning. You yet spy the fawn at play, the hare upon the green, but the sweet face of Lucy Gray will never more be seen. Here, spy means see, fawn means a baby deer, the green means land covered with grass, green grasses. Okay? So here it's given, you yet spy the fawn at play, the hare upon the green, but the sweet face of Lucy Gray will never more be seen. Here, William Wordsworth talks directly to the readers, to us, and says that they may spy the fawn at play, and that they may catch sight of a hare upon the green, but the sweet face of Lucy Gray will never more be seen. But in this, while playing with the hare on the green grass, or while spying the fawn at play, whatever we are doing or whatever we do, but we cannot see the sweet face of Lucy Gray. Because William Wordsworth is saying that by telling the sweet face of Lucy Gray will never more be seen, by reading this line of the stanza, we can understand that William Wordsworth reveals that something has happened to Lucy. That's why it's given over here that Lucy Gray will never more be seen. Now next para, that is the next stanza. Tonight will be a stormy night. You to the town must go and take a lantern, child, to light your mother through the snow. So here this quotes tells us, indicates that the speaker, William Wordsworth, is now telling a story. Now here the story starts in the form of the poem. And this perhaps is a story he has heard from another person. That means he has heard this story from someone else. He begins to talk from another's point of view. Why he begins to talk from another point of view? Because he had heard the story from other person. That's why he begins to talk from another's point of view. This person apparently sent the child out in the snow with a lantern to find her mother. So Lucy's father, who is the person? Lucy's father. What he has done? He sent his child, Lucy, out in the snow with a lantern to find her mother. See the picture? How she is holding a lantern and she is moving to search her mother on the snow. Okay? Next stanza. That father will I gladly do? 'Tis costly afternoon. The minster clock has just struck 2, and yonder is the moon. So now, William Wordsworth has already described Lucy as the sweetest thing, is it? So it does not come as a surprise that she should respond. And how she responded to her father? When her father asked her that you have to go out to search your mother on the snow, then how she responded. See, that father will I gladly do. By reading this line, it reveals that the speaker within the quotes is Lucy's father. So who is the speaker in this poem? Lucy's father. From here, from where the story is starting, from here, the speaker is Lucy's father. The father sends his daughter out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Minster clock. What do you mean by minster clock? The church clock. Okay, minster clock means the church clock. And scarcely means very hardly. Yonder means very far away. Okay, yonder is the moon means there is yet enough time for the night to fall. That means it is afternoon. Okay, so that word is given over here, that the father sends his daughter out at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. He asks her to take a lantern to her mother. Lucy, without asking anything, without saying anything, she just gladly goes to search her mother. Next stanza. At this the father raised his hook and snapped a fagot band. He plied his work and Lucy took the lantern in her hand. So what's given over here? That at this the father raised his hook. And this stanza, at this the father raised his hook. The stanza continues the story from the original speaker's point of view. Who is the original speaker? William Wordsworth. He is the original speaker. And what the speaker is saying? He says that the father returned to his work. As it is given over here, at this the father raised his hook. Okay, so the father returned to his work as Lucy went out with the lantern in her hand. See the meaning I'll tell you. Hook. Hook means sickle. And snapped means cut with a sharp noise. Fagot band, the string with which the bundle had been tied. Plied his work means became busy with his work. So now what the father is doing? William Wordsworth is telling that now Lucy's father, he has taken all his things for going to his work. He has taken the hook, snapped a fagot band, he applied his work, everything he did, and then he returned to his work. And what Lucy did? She went out with the lantern in her hand to search her mother. Understood, children, till here? Next, I'll explain you in the next class. Thank you, children.